just won't be live. Maybe this needs the Wi-Fi.
Is it too loud? That's a little loud. Gospel music tends to be a little up there. Especially black we tend to be a little bit loud and extra.
We need to 9:30. We came on just 1 minute early.
Alright.
And we thank you all for tuning in, catching this on the replay. But we are back for our season finale. What's up, Shan? Shantae, baby Shan.
Alright.
She's finally here. It's all good. We appreciate you, girl.
Yes. What's up?
How you been? How's the little baby? She's so precious.
Yeah, she's cute.
Yeah, so we're back for our season finale. What is this? What am I saying?
I don't know.
This is our finale of our family relationship series. That's what I'm trying to say.
Word.
And we ending it with forgiveness.
Did you really forget?
Did you really forgive?
You know what I mean?
So we're going to talk
It's
about
a big
forgiveness.
question. It's a hot topic.
Something we all had to go through.
She's fine watching y'all.
Oh, she watching
Hi,
us
baby.
too. Hi, baby.
So we're gonna wait, or we're gonna jump right in?
I think, what time is it?
The time is 9:30.
It is 9:30, so do you think we should just start?
Yeah, whoever jumps in, jumps in.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a conversation. We're not waiting on them. We're on a time schedule.
Yeah, so thank you guys. Welcome back. Our topic is, did you really forgive? We're talking about forgiveness today.
Yes.
For those of you who do not know us, my name is Marisol Quan.
And I am Quan Grant.
And together we form Mission Mindset as a platform that we use to encourage other people to start living their dreams, their parts of their desires of their heart. And I'm like stuttering today. But yeah, this is a topic that we wanted to end with from our family relationship series because our first live was about breaking family cycles and generational curses.
And when the enemy attacks.
When the enemy attacks.
What did we do last week?
And then we said change the tone in the home.
Right.
And then we talked about getting over fear and insecurities.
Right.
And now we're talking about forgiveness.
Yes.
So it was like 5
Dang,
live series. I know, it got really fast.
Seriously.
And then we're going to be gone for a couple weeks, and we'll come back towards the end of June.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With some fresh new topics. Mm-hmm. Maybe a fresh new look. You just never know. Switch it up on you guys.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny the timing of this whole topic of forgiveness.
Right.
Because I personally had to deal with something where I had to forgive a person, and we go through things with business partners, friendships, family members, spouses, church members, coworkers, siblings. So all of that, it's a lot of stuff to deal with. So we're just talking about forgiveness and what does that mean to you? Mm-hmm. Like, have you ever gone through a situation that you felt like you had to forgive someone, or someone hurt you, betrayed you, let you down, or what they didn't do, what you were wanting from them?
I believe there's misconceptions about forgiveness as well.
What is it?
People think when you forgive, you don't forget, or you know what I mean? But I think sometimes with forgiveness, you have to let things go. That's the whole purpose of forgiving, to just let it go. You know what I mean? Because it only hinders you, only stops you. And then people often think
that's what you get.
with forgiveness that you're forgiving for that person, but it's really for yourself.
Yeah.
So you can free yourself from bitterness, from resentment, anger. You know what I mean?
From
all those things. Yeah.
It's for you to be able to get up in the morning, go throughout your day, get your stuff done, go to bed peacefully, and not replaying whatever it is that's causing pain inside of you because of something that happened between you and another person, or a situation that came about. You know what I mean? So you just want to live peacefully. You want to be done with something. You don't want like something hanging over your head or feeling heavy in your heart and just feeling like things are weighing you down, or just tightness in your stomach. It's very stressful. Yeah. It's very stressful to live that way. And it's only because you're holding on. You keep replaying stuff that happened over and over, and you're coming out with different scenes and scenarios, and that person did this and that person did that, and why this and why that, you know? Right. I'm going to tell you, I'm going to open up to y'all about my little testimonial, because we're going to share, like, each of us is going to share, like, an experience, and then I want you guys to, like, share something, or if you have any feedback, comments. So my situation was, I had, like, a business situation, a business deal that just was bad. I invested a nice little chunk of money, you know, that I worked 2 or 3 jobs to save up for, regarding, you know, some, you know, creations of like music pieces and stuff like that. Yeah. And I trusted this person because I knew them for a very long time, and I thought, you know, things were gonna go smoothly, but then it just started taking a turn for the worst. And, you know, we were not seeing eye to eye, and things that were said beforehand, before the money was given, you know, wasn't kind of the same, at, you know, at the end of the day. Yeah. And so, like, a whole year later, we was trying to figure it out, trying to plan, trying to get things together, but, you know, it'll feel like, okay, everything's good now. It's good now. I feel like, you know, we can work together. And then, you know, things would just go south, and I'm like, what happened? I don't know what happened. You know, and I was always kind to this person, so I didn't give the person any reason to not like me or not want to work with me. And then it just came to a head, you know, when you have so much time go by and you want something so bad to happen because you feel like you invested your money, your time, and you trust this person, and then they don't fulfill what that is that you paid for. Right. They don't give you back what you paid for, what you put in. Right. And it's like thousands of dollars, and you feel like, you know, that's my money, that's mine, and I should be able to, you know, get the product that I paid for. Right. But what I learned in that moment, when I kept thinking of all the things I could think of, like, oh, this person did this, they never had anybody that was genuine, and I always been genuine, I always been a good friend, I always been there, always supported, but this person never supported me back, never did this, never did that, but I was still there because I was believing and all this other stuff. And I'm going through all of this, talking to friends and family, just thinking, what can I do? This is bothering me now. And it's not until I looked at myself and I felt like God spoke to me and told me, like, before you point a finger at anybody, look at yourself. Look at what you did. You were in agreement to this. Like, you handed over your money. You made this deal. You know what I'm saying? You didn't think it through. Right. It was premature. You know, I was giving you signs to not do it, but you went ahead and did something that you want to do selfishly because you wanted to get it done. So, hearing that, I was just like, oh my God. You know, it wasn't a good feeling to know that, and I was like, really humbled by that word. We want to blame the other person all the time. We want to blame them, point the finger, and always look like, poor me, poor me, poor me. Right. But we never look at our part in it and how we could have prevented it, changed it, or at least listened to our intuition or what God was trying to tell us in the first place. Right. So all of that said, I just decided that I no longer wanted that heaviness over me. I did not feel comfortable working with that person, you know, on a one-to-one basis, because I wanted, you know, the music that I was going to put out was going to be inspirational, and I didn't feel like if that person was not able to work with me in that capacity and feel good about it, then I didn't want to do it. So I just let it all go. Yeah. I forgave them and I moved on. Sometimes you gotta just cut it off, even though it don't feel like it in that moment. Yeah. You know, I'm just pertaining to like business deals, but even friendships, you know, whatever it is that happens, sometimes you just got to get to that point, pray to God, and just say, you know what, this isn't worth it anymore. Yeah, you're so right. We try to hold on sometimes when it's just like, nah.
let it go. If this is not working, this is not healthy, it's not good for you. You know, we hold on for all like the wrong reasons.
All the wrong reasons. It's like selfish reasons. It's like, no, I can make this work even though God's telling me that's not going to work.
Right,
I didn't have this in your story. This is not a part of it. It has to end. That was last year. Let it go. Move on. And I'm like, no, but it can still work.
I want to give them a piece of my mind.
I want to give them a piece of my mind. I want to tell them about themselves.
Right.
I ain't letting this go.
Right.
That ain't fear.
I ain't blocking them. They're going to see me.
They're going to see me. You know, but you get humbled real quick when God speaks to you. So you just got to look at it from that perspective. Like, not for them, it's for me. So I can sleep at night and feel good about myself and move forward whatever God has in store for my life. And I can't fulfill that and receive that if I'm harboring all these resentment feelings and, you know, bitterness. I can't see the person because every time I see him, I just...
Right. And then we block what God could be trying to do. You know what I mean? Holding on to something or someone when God could possibly be telling you, or God is telling you to let them go. We have to make room for new. You know what I mean? When you're in a new season, everyone can't go. Old friends, old surroundings. You know what I mean? You have to clear that. You know, and make room for new. You know, and you never know the new business connection that God may have for you. You know, but had you continue to hold on to that relationship, that connection, thinking that was the only person that can do it, you would have never tapped into what God has for you. You know what I mean? That next person. And sometimes we think it's a loss, and God really want to, you know.
It's a game.
It's a game.
You gaining something.
And God want to add way more. We think we're losing stuff. And it's like,
we're not. Ladies, I said sometimes we try to make excuses, but God knows best, and He will show us every time.
Exactly.
And that's true.
My point exactly.
Shauna says, hey guys.
What's up, Shauna?
That is so true, because we always do that. And, and it was so funny, the lies that I was telling myself, like, oh, I'm not that person. I've always been good to this person and these people. I've always been good to this and that and that. You know what I mean? So I don't deserve that. And I'll always be point. You know? Until I realized, like, I got work to do for myself. I got to make better decisions and have better people around me that are going to support me and not have this malice feeling or vibe when they come in my presence or don't want to see me prosper or do well. I mean, that's not the people you want in your circle.
And sometimes we try to create the person we want. We want to play God and be like, oh, no, I can fix them. They, you know, I don't know.
Yeah, like
I can make them be what I need him to be. He can be my producer. We can make this work.
Yeah.
You know, I can make him love me. I can make him respect me. You can't always do that.
No.
You know.
And this is probably what he needed as well, for me to just cut things off so that maybe in his ministry, what he's doing in his business, it can make a change or a shift. That maybe this isn't the way I should be operating. You know, my integrity, my character, that's all I have. When you have a business, you want people to trust you. You want people to want to work with you. So maybe that's something that can hopefully, you know, he can grow in and that could be better for his situation. So everybody grows in the situation. It's just about just taking that step and believing and trusting in God in the process and knowing that everything will work out, even though it doesn't feel that way, even though you're going to take some losses. Sometimes you're going to lose people, lose finances, lose property, lose everything. Sometimes you just got to let it go.
Yeah, so true.
And thanks to Kwani here, you know, who listened to me vent about it and stuff. Gave me some good words of wisdom.
That's what friends are for. Through good times.
In the bad times.
Yeah,
concur.
I concur. That's facts. But my story is a little bit different, and I was kind of like sweaty palms. Like, do I want to tell the story? But I feel like this live in this series is about being honest and open, and being as true and transparent as you can possibly be. Of course, like everyone else, I've been betrayed, I've been used, I've been manipulated, I've been, you know, talked about, put down, you know, had people say they're going to do something and not come through, just like the average human being. Like, we all experience those things. But the story I want to share about forgiveness is with my dad, you know, and growing up, I'm not gonna cry, right?
No.
All right. So,
That's all good.
no, it's good. Sometimes, you know, you don't get to pick and choose your parents, and I love my dad. So this is not dad bashing at all. Let's be clear. But growing up, I always felt like, I wanted, more. Like I wanted more attention, more time. Like I felt like there was a lot of things I learned on my own that normally a dad would teach their child. How to be a man, how to work hard, even how the birds and the bees, you know what I mean? Like there's different things that I longed for that just didn't happen that way. You know what I mean? That wasn't my story with my dad. You know what I mean? But one thing about my dad, he was a provider, and he worked really hard, and he made sure I had, my brother had, and my mom had. So as I got older, those are things that I learned to appreciate. But also, just realizing, like, I think I was touching on it last week, that you have to appreciate those things about them. The good things. You know what I mean? What was I going to say? Dang, just went blank. What was I going to say? Anyway, I just learned to appreciate the good things about my dad, and those things that I can't change. Oh, what I was going to say is, like, learning where my dad comes from. He comes from a big family of a lot of siblings, and he had me when he was still young. You know what I mean? Not like super young, but maybe like, I don't know, I want to say like 20s, early 20s, 19, I don't remember. But he comes from a big family. So with that being said, I think maybe there's a possibility that maybe his dad didn't show him how to be, you know what I mean, a man, or his dad didn't have that much time with him, and maybe he didn't have the guidelines on how to be a father, you know what I mean, because, he had so many siblings. Maybe he was neglected and just didn't know, just did the best he knew how to do, you know what I mean. But as I got older, I learned to just, like, to forgive, you know what I mean, for myself, and just let things go, and those things that I can't change the past, you know what I mean, but I just learned from it, I grew from it, and I just have to let it go, you know what I mean. And I feel like now, as I'm older, and as we're men now, I just learned to appreciate different things about him that I didn't back then, because growing up I was bitter, I was angry, and at the time I didn't realize why I was lashing out, but I think that's why, because I wanted attention. I wanted to be heard. I wanted to feel like I was understood. I wanted to feel supported, like I had love. You know what I mean? And growing up, I realized I used to lash out at both my dad, my mom, be throwing TVs, having these attitudes, and just like, you know what I mean? But as I grew older, I just learned to just let things go and to forgive, and just see things from a different perspective, you know what I mean, and not just that selfish perspective, like, oh my God, like, why can't he do this? Why, I want him to be this, that, and the third, but I don't know. Yeah. I let it go. I'm free today. We have a great relationship. Like I said, this is not dad bashing, but I'm being honest because I know people go through that. You know what I mean? And I don't know who's going to watch this video. But you got to pray for those. Are you proud? She was encouraging me to just tell my story and speak my truth. So I'm just like, I'm just do it.
Yes.
So.
Yes. And that's really,
and guys deal with that.
Thing, to be able to say what you went through and what you were longing for and what you wanted to receive from someone and wasn't getting it.
Right.
And as a young black male in America,
right.
You know what I mean? Those are some things that a lot of men have a lot of pride and they don't want to talk about.
Yeah, exactly.
Lady's Eye says, well, something about forgiveness is amazing, yet when people cut deep, it's hard to forget.
Yeah.
How can you really forgive if I can't forget? When the things people have done hurt deep.
Yeah.
And that's so true. It's the reason why it will keep hurting about something is because you're not accepting your part.
Mm.
Whatever it was.
Mm.
Just taking everything that you could have taken for you and say, I'm going to clean my side.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not responsible for the other person's side. Yeah, it hurts.
That's
they
so
did
true.
wrong.
That's
but
good.
once you just
good,
enclose yourself in like this bubble and say, I forgive myself.
Right.
I forgive the other person. I'm going to let God, deal with all of this.
Yeah.
I'm going to put my faith in the Lord and say, you know what? I may have some hurt feelings. I may cry.
Yeah.
They come up sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'm going to remember that there's a God.
Yeah.
Like my grandma used to say that hangs high and looks low.
Sits high. Hangs high. Really? Sits high and look low.
Looks low. She used to
right.
always say that. But it's true. Like, you just have to put that power and that faith in God and know that everything's going to work out.
Word.
For good.
Yeah. I like that.
Pain is inevitable. Like, we are always going to go through something. There's a lesson in the pain.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel good. It never does. Yeah, go ahead and cry. Punch your bag, get it out. Whatever way you feel. But the forgiveness is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Forgive yourself.
Yeah.
Forgive them. And let God.
Yeah.
In that order.
Yeah, that was good.
She says, cry if you have to. Because you got me in my feelings. There are people that I haven't forgiven, and it does hold me back. Yes. Yeah. And Shansha says, thanks for sharing. You're not alone in that. Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Sean.
She said, and Lady's Eye says, I'm praying on it, though. It's a lesson in the pain. Amen. And Sean says, yikes.
Yeah. That was good stuff, y'all. I hope you guys take some hearts on that. That was good.
No, it is difficult.
You gotta acknowledge your part. Mm-hmm.
That's what it took for me, though.
Yeah.
This was, guys, my story was just this weekend. This past weekend. Going through that. I was having palpitations. I was having, like, my stomach was feeling tight. Mm-hmm. I was getting headaches. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, anxious. Like, I got to talk to this person. I got to let them know about themselves. It seems like they don't even realize what they're doing and how they're affecting me and how this is, playing out. And it seems like they don't care, and they're taunting me the way they're texting me back with, like, laughs out loud and funny faces and still not getting on the phone with me after they have my money and we're supposed to do this. It was like all that was going through my head. And I'm like, but this was a person that was my friend for 10 years. Mm-hmm. So it's like, it hurts. Yeah. It hurts. It bothers you. You're like in shock. Like, who is this person? Mm-hmm. What did I do to you?
Right. That's what it is.
Why am I a target?
Right.
Why do you hate me so much?
Right.
And you got to realize sometimes people go through their own things, and I was trying to see it from that way for a long time. I was trying to look from that angle, like, have compassion. And then over the weekend, it just came up. Like, I was asking God to reveal my heart to me. And all that stuff came up. And I was just like, I was not trying to hear it. I was angry. I cannot lie. I was very angry.
Yeah.
But how I got over that was just the other day. I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning. God woke me up out of my sleep.
Yeah.
And it was like, it's time now.
Yeah.
And I sent a text message to the person. I prayed for them. And I said, you know what, I'm going to let this go. Because I'm going to accept what God told me. And I'm going to have faith in what He said. Yeah. As opposed to everything else that's going on around me. I'm going to be like, okay, if you said it, what do I have to have feelings about it for? Mm-hmm. You blocked it. It didn't work. You said it. You said it. Like, it came from God. Right. I don't contest that. Yeah. So I let it go. And after I did that and I sent the text, and I just blocked everything so I wouldn't see anything else anymore. I'm done with it. I will clean my hands.
You gotta do that.
And after that, I felt like a whole weight, like almost like my body just went through a transformation. It was just like...
It's like you took yourself out of the situation.
Yeah, it was like I took myself out of the fire. Mm-hmm. But I was doing that to myself because I was replaying everything and getting more and more angry, more and more angry, thinking about it.
This is the part when she was talking about how do you forgive and forget.
Yeah.
Right? Because when you're thinking about it over and over and over again, this is why you have to, people don't want to forget. But this is why it's important.
They're focusing on it.
Right. You're rehearsing it over and over.
You get angry and then you just create a cycle. And you're like,
Right.
That
and
person, they
emotions.
need to know how it feels. Right. I want them to burn. I want them to feel my pain. I want to hurt them back so that they'll know how I feel. You want to feel all of those things, but At the end of the day,
vengeance is mine, saith the Lord.
Yeah.
That's what the Bible says.
You don't,
yeah, so we don't have
can't
to
do that.
Yeah.
It's for you.
We don't have
Forgiveness
to
is
do
for you.
Tit for tat, yeah. You let it go. You pray for them, and you let God deal with it, and you just move on.
It takes a lot. You got to humble your spirit to be able to pray for someone who you feel that hurts you so deeply.
So true.
It takes immense, humbleness and taking every selfish part of you out.
And pray with a sincere heart.
And pray with a sincere heart, and looking at God and saying, I have to do this.
Yeah.
I have to pray for this person.
Yeah.
I have to love them.
Right.
I have to have compassion for them.
Exactly.
Because they're a child of God as well.
Exactly.
And I'm a child of God.
Yeah.
And we ain't supposed to be acting like that towards each other.
Right.
Because whatever God blocked, I'm sure He's going to put something else in the place of it. So I'm not lacking nothing. And the money, whatever. Yeah. It's pennies right now in my mind.
Right. As
opposed to what God is going to do for my life.
Ooh, glory.
So sometimes you just have to put that perspective in your mind.
Hearts. That's deep.
She said, I need to pray more because I do that. And when I do, I'm going to pray. No, I agree.
Yeah, prayer is key.
Hey, Stacy.
And prayer keeps you in centered. You know what I mean? And that peace. You know what I mean? And when you pray, God often shows you yourself too in the situation. So prayer is good because sometimes we need to see the whole situation, because when we're going through the situation, we just see the other person, like we were saying earlier. But we gotta acknowledge our part and just let it go. So how do we know we truly forgave them?
When you don't feel anything anymore.
Yeah.
You can live your day-to-day life.
There's no bitterness.
No bitterness, no resentment. You're like, I don't care. They can do. God bless them. You know?
can see them and not be giving them like an ill side eye.
You are totally restored, renewed in your spirit. And we were talking about that, the spirit versus the flesh.
Yeah.
And it's like when you're in your feelings and you're in your flesh and you're making decisions, it's not always like going to pan out good for you because you're in your flesh, right? So if you speak, go with your spirit, you will definitely start to make better decisions for your life.
That's true.
Meaning, she says, meaning when I feel the petty Betty in me, I will pray. Yep.
We got to do it, man, several times a day. I got to do that work. I got to do it all the time.
Reel it in.
Right.
But like, I'm not going to go. You're not going to let me go there?
Right. I'm not going to come out of character. Yeah.
And, we watch a lot of sermons, too.
Yeah.
And we think those things are very helpful, too. If you ever in a moment where you just need to hear a word or you craving something that can help you block whatever it is that you're feeling.
Right.
I do this all the time. I'll just go on YouTube and I'll listen to like my favorites, Sarah Jakes or T.D. Jakes or Stephen Furtick or any of them.
Yeah.
Google a little title, something that you want to know, and they'll give you a word.
She said, well, link some sermons, please.
Well, link some sermons. Okay, definitely. I got a good one for you. I don't watch it 3 times.
Yeah.
Each time I was crying, like, thank you.
We could probably put some on the Mission Mindset page, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
we're gonna share some on the Mission Mindset page.
Yeah, that'll be good. So, have you guys ever experienced some forgiveness situations when you had to forgive someone?
Or you're going through something right now where it's hard for you,
and you feel like you need to forgive them, or you really haven't forgiven that person? Let us know, guys.
Or were you on the other end of something where somebody needed to forgive you for something you did?
You did, yeah.
And you don't know how to go about.
So you need to get some things right with someone.
Yeah.
Because we forget that other part when we're the one causing the hurt and the harm, the betrayal. And we're the one being the users. Stacey said yes, speak it.
She said true.
Or she said thank you. Word, we got you. What else, Zoe?
So we were talking about you in your presence, how you feel when you're not in your presence, triggers, forgiveness process, what does it mean?
Grab that paper, you all looking over there.
I'm sorry.
You got an audience over here.
like triggers and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I know there in some families they're like, you know.
Maybe when you see someone.
Yeah.
What
I
else?
know, like, something
What else?
happened, like, a few days ago. I was, like, at a family outing.
Uh-oh.
It was, like, a small little get-together. And it was so peaceful, so great. And towards the end, you know, a family member was leaving, and then she ended up, you know, getting upset because another family member brought up something else and it, you know, expounded on this situation that happened and it was already over with. And it just triggered her to feel upset and, like, attacked again. So she, like, ran out of the house.
Yeah.
And I thought, like,
Oh, wow.
I said my piece. I said, guys, communication is very, effective, and listening and knowing when to be quiet. Sometimes you don't have to respond to everything.
Yeah.
If someone brings something up, doesn't mean that you have to respond
So
to everything.
Choose your battles.
Choose your battles, because I think when you start doing that, operating like that, sometimes I feel like people get in a cycle where they just want to have the other person have a reaction to them.
Right.
So they know exactly what to say,
Mm-hmm.
at exactly the right moment
Right.
to trigger that person, because they know what the response is going to be.
Right.
Because they've done it so many times, and they know that person hasn't healed from that situation, or they're just easily triggered because this is something that's, right here. It's in their heart.
Yeah.
So triggers are very, like, it's something that, it's just like, you have people that do that to you.
Yeah.
And how are you going to start responding to your triggers, to people that trigger you?
Yeah.
I had to learn this.
Yeah.
You go into a room or somebody say a certain thing to you, you're like, well, why did you say that? Or it hurts you, or you go back into your memory bank and you start pulling out all these situations that happened to you that people hurt you. And you're like, well, why is all this coming up now? Because there's one thing that you said to me.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of healing that you have to do and come to grips with those moments that happen in your life with different people that you have not healed from yet.
Yeah.
You haven't even faced it head on to say, like, you don't own me.
Yeah.
I'm not going to relive this anymore. This is not my story. It's part of my story. It's part of my testimony, but I'm not going to still be there.
Here.
Yeah. Years later. You can't allow your past and your situations to run your life. Those are lessons to be learned for you.
Yeah.
And if you don't learn that lesson, it's going to come back up every time.
That's true.
Different people, different situations, different jobs, different organizations, different things.
Yeah.
Until you get it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hi, Mom.
So.
Shonda says, some people are like rotten wood. A good for nothing person.
So true.
Yeah. And they're living their truth and what they believe to be true for themselves.
Right.
And they probably don't even see it sometimes. And some people do see it and they don't care because they're miserable and they can't stand to see anyone else be happy or have a family outing that's actually running smoothly. Everybody's laughing and joking, and it's like, oh, this is too good. We gotta get some juice up in here.
Right.
What happened to da 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 da? And you're like, whoa, there it goes. We already know how this is gonna end.
Right. Right.
So
it's kind of like not being affected by your environment, right? And not allowing that to get the best of you.
Control your reaction.
Yeah.
It's kind of like having a bulletproof vest. So when you start getting those bullets to hit you, you gotta be like, boom, 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 boom. Knock them off of you. Don't let it come inside here and start, planting a seed inside you, and now you have this whole other thing that's about to start growing up in you, and that you are going to leave open to other triggers to start happening. And you have this wound over here, this seed over there, that seed, all this stuff that you're just holding inside.
Yeah.
And that's not going to be helpful for you in the long run.
I think mastering emotions is key. You know what I mean? And not being so easily offended all the time, or falling for these different emotional traps that the enemy sets sometimes.
You got to gain your power back.
You do.
Because you can't allow other people to take that power away from you, or you're giving it to them by reacting in a certain way, and that's what the reaction that they know you're going to give.
Right.
Because
they're trying to pick a
pissed
fight.
at something.
Right, they're going to get you to argue and come out of character and mess you up. We fall into those traps all the time. But we have to master our emotions and just like you said, take our power back. Right.
Like, you don't owe me.
Right.
And what you just said, that's your issue, not mine.
Right.
I don't live there anymore.
Exactly.
That was 10 years ago.
Right.
Remind people.
Zay got a comment. You want to read that?
Oh. My family and sibling structure needs prayer and lots of forgiveness. The love is there, yet we lost the connection somewhere. It's been rough, yet everything you said is what goes wrong. So we argue. Hold on a second. So, yep. And then, where were we?
So we argue.
Oh, I pray on it. Yet I get frustrated and lash out verbally too. We are all wrong and we need to sit down and hash it out. We need each other and the issues aren't severe. Just not having communication and unreliability on all our parts. We need a spiritual intervention. I'm praying on it. Is that a word? That is so true.
I believe it. God would do it.
Family is like, you need to stick together. And sometimes you be like, you know what? Oh, y'all just too much. Like,
right.
I'm gonna leave.
Like,
I'm leaving the state. I don't want.
Right.
I don't want to be around y'all because y'all just seem like y'all can't get it together.
Right.
You know what the heck is going on?
Right.
You know, it's like I don't need this. I'm trying to come over here and have a nice family dinner.
Eat a couple of sandwiches.
Hee hee ha ha. This is great moments and stuff. I'm not here for all the drama. You know, you don't want to. You don't want to, but then you kind of get pulled into it because you're trying to reason with each person, saying, "No, you shouldn't have did that," and then all of a sudden you're yelling and then telling the person about themselves, and then before you know, it's a whole big storm.
Yeah. She says, "Wow, God sent that. I did just that. I moved 2 states away."
I hear you. Sometimes you gotta leave the mess.
Right.
Get yourself together, and you could be more effective sometimes that way.
Right.
He sent that through you, girl. Bye. She was like, deuces.
Stacy said something.
Stacy says, oh, wow, Marisol, you are so proud of me. Back to just times that I work with you on the weekends. You are always so positive. I appreciate you for that. Oh, thank you, Stacy.
Right? I'm so proud of you.
Yeah. Stacy and I used to work together. Yeah, she's a really great person. Thank you, Stacy. I'm glad you're tuning in.
Yes, thank you.
Do you have any stories for us? Anything that you feel like you're holding on to, or you never forgave somebody, or you battling with the forgiveness thing?
Yeah, forgive and forget thing is kind of tough for some people.
I think forget part is not really what we think it is. The forget part is
because always obviously you can't forget it.
Yeah, it's gonna always you know what happened.
Right.
Like I was a part of it. Forgetting is just kind of like letting it be.
Right. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
You know, it's the past. You know, I remember what happened. I remember the pain, but I'm not gonna stay there. You know what I mean? It's moving on. We
live there. The other person ain't probably doing well.
Right.
You know?
And that's what I was going to say earlier. While we angry and bitter and all this resentment, they're somewhere chilling.
Out to dinner, hanging out with their family and friends, thinking nothing of it. While you're over there crying, having knots in your stomach and thinking, why me? Why are you doing this to me?
Right.
And they probably will never care.
Yeah.
But
that's why it's for you.
That's not your problem. Yeah. That's theirs.
Yep. Absolutely.
It's sad, but everybody's different, going through something. So
right.
It's a lesson. You always counted lunch and juices.
That sounds so like it.
Yeah. Yeah, I worked with a lot of the children that were just, very difficult behavior-wise. They used to do some things to me. Throw water bottles in my face. A full water bottle. It wasn't like empty. It was like a full 20 ounce. Like he was throwing a base, like a ball.
It hit you?
Yeah, in my face. Bam.
Did you get a welt?
Yeah. He busted my lip.
Wow.
I was like, I put the thing down because I was cutting food for all the kids. And these are teenage boys, and I just put it down, and I was like, I think everything it took in my body, in my mind, to not see this as like a 17-year-old or a 16-year-old, I was like,
what are we going to do?
What are we going to do?
That's family.
I'm just going to go here, boys.
Sorry, movie reference.
For you guys who didn't know, it's the chicks.
Right.
No, but that's what I was feeling. I had to like step back because I was like, at that split moment, I just thought, I'm going to lose my job. Yeah. You forgot it. You gave him in that moment. Which one, the kid?
Or was it the story before?
I'm not sure.
Yeah. We get these comments sometimes so late sometimes.
I think it's a 25-second delay because I think I counted it one time I looked back. I think it's 25-second delay.
Oh, yeah. 25 seconds. That's it.
25 or 30 seconds. Seriously.
She said yes.
Oh, yeah. Oh, the kid from the...
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to walk away. I went into the office and I sat there and I was like literally about to cry because I was so angry. But then the next day he was like, Miss, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, it's okay. You're only 16. You know, I couldn't kill you. My mom says, I still battle with some things that have hurt me in the past by a family member. I go back and forth with it. Yeah, that's what we're saying. It's like, gotta like cut that umbilical cord to the situation. It's like, you know, umbilical cords give life, right? It's like nutrients flowing through there and it's still breathing in you. It's attached to you. It's like, you know, sometimes you just gotta cut it and just like take all the life out of you from that situation so you don't have to deal with it no more. And let other people deal with their part of it and why they keep reliving that, why they keep poking you. Because sometimes it's all it takes to break that cycle. One of you gotta let it go and move forward, forgive and move on. Because once you do that, the other person is like, okay, what is it going to do for them now? Now that you've gained your power and you're owning it and you're living in that, what is it going to do for them? So
take your power back, you know, because as long as you keep going over it, going over it over and over and over, it's going to defeat you eventually, you know what I mean? So I think you have to let it go for you, pray for that person, allow God to deal with it, and just move on, you know what I mean? And like we were saying, just like mastering your emotions, just not staying there, you know what I mean? And not allowing it to get the best of you, you know what I mean? And like we were saying before, sometimes, you know, this person has moved on and not thinking about it, they're not affected by it, you know what I mean? But now's your chance to exercise your power. You know, this is the perfect opportunity to exercise that power, to pray, to forgive, and to let it go. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, we want to be free. We don't want to be bitter. We don't want to be holding on to nothing. We don't want nothing stopping our growth. You know, some of us, we're getting older, stopping our blessings. You know what I mean? So it sounds easy, like, oh, it's not that easy to let it go. You know what I mean? It sounds hard, but it's just like once you get it in your mind, you free yourself in your mind.
It's just about making a decision.
And it's a process.
Make the decision first. Just say it.
That's the first step.
God, I'm working on
I'm
this,
gonna let this go.
but I'm going to put it in your hands. I forgive that
this
person.
This hurt me.
But it's going to take some time.
This made me feel this way, but I'm letting it all go. I'm giving it to you, God. Bless this person. I don't know, maybe they were going through something. Because ultimately, when people treat you bad, that's how they feel about themselves. So it probably has nothing to even do with you.
Nothing at all.
You know what I mean? So
they probably can't even see what they're doing.
Right.
Or even care for that matter.
And might not even know how it affected you. They just living their life. Thinking, oh, she got over that by now. Right?
Yeah. Like, oh, she should wait for some time. It's like, whatever. We'll talk, just how we do.
Right.
And it's like, no, we have many conversations about this.
Right.
And I don't think you take me seriously. But that's just a reflection of me not taking myself seriously. Or putting myself in situations where I'm not valuing who I am as a person and what I'm bringing to the table. So sometimes we do got to check ourselves and see where we're operating from.
Right.
Some insecurities or something like that.
Right.
Mommy said I've gotten stronger now. I try not to entertain it. That's good.
That's what's up.
Keep working at it.
Absolutely. You want to read this one?
Yeah.
My grandmother.
Grandma. There's a book called God Power. To change your life, many nuggets are in there to help. The chapter consists of self-control. You cannot change others. They need to want to be changed. True cut the cord. Do not feed from that. unhealthy situation.
Yeah. Talking about
Exactly.
the biblical word. Yeah. So true.
Thank you for that. I want to check out that book.
Yes. I have it.
Oh, you do?
I teach from it.
Oh. Is that the one you were sharing information from?
I was.
All right, awesome.
Yeah.
So I have access to it. Mommy says when it crossed my mind, I just let it go before it festers. Yeah. And they talked about that, like the 5-second rule.
Yeah.
In 5 seconds, if something comes up in your mind, or if you're supposed to do something,
the one thing I did too long, right?
Yeah, 5 seconds you have before it's planted and it starts to keep going.
Yeah.
So you got to make that decision sometime. When it comes up,
let it go.
Let it go.
Mm-hmm. And find something else to, change the channel in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
Find something else to think on.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Something more loving.
Yeah. Hi, Tiffany.
Mm-hmm.
Something more loving. Yeah, that's what all comes down.
Positive.
It comes back to that. Every time I started praying, the end of it was like, how God said, humble your spirit. Oh, and I'm like, okay, I'm humble. And then I go back to, I just love everybody.
Right.
I just love them. And you start crying. You're like, I just love people. They're just people. They're just God's children. We're all going through something. I just love them.
Right.
And you go back to that place of love and compassion. And that's when it's easier to do that because God loves you.
Yeah.
So how can you not love your neighbor? How can you not love your enemy?
Scripture too about forgive because God forgave you.
Mm-hmm. So I was like, if He can do it, me, I can do it.
Right. And think about how messy we could be sometimes, and God is constantly forgiving us daily.
Mm-hmm.
So who are we to not exercise that type of forgiveness?
Exactly.
Definitely necessary for growth and maturity.
Yeah. Fill yourself with love.
Sure. Always operate in love. Amen. Amen.
That'd be the most difficult thing to do. But try to pray for your enemies tonight, guys.
That'd be
That's one
love.
of one of those challenges I'm trying to think of that you could do tonight. Pray for your enemies.
Yeah,
call their name out and be specific in your prayers for them.
And be honest, be sincere. You can't pray and still have hate in your heart. Let it go. You know what I mean? Pray from a sincere heart, and that's a good challenge, a good way to end tonight.
I think if you do have that hate in your heart and you start praying, I believe that can come out of you.
Yeah,
while you're praying, because that happened to me. That's what I had to do. I had to
that
pray
is true.
I had to pray for the person,
right.
And all of a sudden my feelings
then
started
everything
to
changed, right?
And I was like, yes,
that is true.
And I started getting more into it.
Forgive them, even though they hurt me. God, I love you.
Exactly. Exactly. You could get that malice right out.
Right.
Pray it out.
And that's the best way, honestly. You know what I mean? Because it's better for you to put it in prayer form than to actually be coming out of character and cussing somebody out. You know what I mean? So
and sometimes having a conversation doesn't work with the person who definitely don't see their side, so you keep fighting and it hurts you more.
Yeah.
So it's best sometimes you just gotta just cut.
Yeah, so take all that passion and put it in prayer form. That's the challenge for tonight. Pray for your enemies, someone who hurt you. And also see yourself in the situation. Pray for yourself.
For strength and healing and restoration.
And just move forward. Right?
I say, I trust in you, God. I trust that you know what to do.
Yeah. And you're going to send better people in my circle. Yeah.
I don't have the answers. I don't know. I don't know what the future holds. But I know that you gave me a word. And I'm going to be obedient to that word.
Yeah.
And that's all I can do. Just follow my spirit and not my flesh, not my own understanding of things, not my own selfish desires and needs.
So
when you put all that aside and you really follow your spirit and what God is telling you, I feel like a lot of doors could open up that were blocked before because you was operating
holding on to too much
in your flesh and all your selfishness and all these needy things that you want because this is me and I want to do this by myself and I love me and this is my desire, this is my dream, and this is what I want to do, and then that's when things start happening because you couldn't see everything. You was blind because you were just like, I don't care what it takes, I want this.
So good.
I don't care if I heard a word and God was telling you to wait. I was like, I don't want to wait, I want to do it now.
Right.
And it's like, this is what happens when you wanted to do it in your time.
So true.
So, take heed, guys.
Absolutely.
Be
Thank
still.
you guys for tuning in week after week. We have a good, faithful few that always hold us down. Thank you. We need to do something special for you guys.
Yeah.
This was the conclusion of our
family relationship series.
Yes. Let's recap those topics again that we did.
The first one was breaking generational curses and family cycles. The second one was when the enemy attacks, what do you do? The third was change the tone in the home. And then last week we talked about how to overcome fear and insecurities.
Yeah.
And this week is
Did you
forgive? All about forgiveness.
Yeah. Amen.
So we were just trying to touch on different parts, different aspects that we'll go through and that we've gone through and we continue to go through sometimes.
Yeah.
Every battle, is a lesson.
But we're growing. This is a season of growth, of change, elevation, evolving.
Propelling yourself forward.
Exactly.
Not hindering yourself.
And one of the biggest lessons I'm learning this year is like humble. Like that word keeps
humble.
I keep hearing that word, humble. Humble yourself.
And gratitude.
Yes. Yes. So don't ever think you're above being humble and being grateful and
or looking down on other people saying, well, they ain't got that or they didn't do that.
Exactly. Because God have a way of humbling you every time. Well, I know he humbles me all the time. Give me these reminders like, look, this is what you need to work on. Don't go praying for everyone else. Don't forget you.
Exactly.
Yourself. You know what I mean?
Forget you. That's all you got to pay attention to.
Yeah. And when we change, then our surroundings change, and blah, 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 blah.
And our environment changes.
Everything changes.
Yes.
And it reminds me, sometimes we think we can change the whole world.
Yeah.
There's billions of people, and people say that, like, let's change the world. No, change yourself.
That's how you change the world.
That's how the world changes. All right, so we're done. We're not going to overtalk.
Hey,
love you
Bob.
guys.
What's up, Bob?
What up, Bob? Thank you for tuning in. Thank you, Mama Cynthia, Stacy, Shonda, Tiff. Zay was up here. Your cousin.
Oh, Shantae.
She came. She was the first one to tune in. My grandmother, Nana. All you guys, we love you. We thank you guys. Keep us in your prayers. And we'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
With some fresh hot topics.
Yes. And new videos and stuff.
Yes.
All right.
It's going to be great. Bye, y'all. Good night. We about to eat.
Yes.